Welcome back to the Tikit setup series. In today's session, we're going to continue the setup of multi-team, multi-department within Tikit, and we're going to focus in on how we can enable the end user and give them the ability to send a ticket to the IT team or the HR team. We're going to show this from Adele's perspective here on the left-hand side, and what we're going to do here first is we're going to show you the out-of-the-box experience across a couple different things. Then we'll add the functionality of multi-team to creating tickets. And then after we do that, we'll show you how the end user experience changes a little bit to accommodate for that. So in Teams or in the web portal, Adele has the ability to create tickets, initiate different templates and forms. And now that we have the HR team added to Tikit, there's a couple places you want to focus in on to enable that functionality. The first is on the help card, there is a new ticket button out of the box. And when you select that, or if you were to type new ticket or create new ticket, the new ticket default form is what's presented to the end user. And what we want to give the option to do here is allow for the end user to select which team they want to send this ticket to, because now we have an HR team. So that's the first thing we're going to show. The second thing we're going to show is on the help menu, we also have the ability to add different types of new ticket buttons. So we can have a new IT ticket button that sends the ticket directly to IT versus a new HR ticket button that will send the ticket directly to HR. The idea there is just to simply make it a little bit easier for the end user to be able to send a ticket to the respective team. And the last thing we're going to show is when interacting with a template and a form, whether it's on the help menu or via AI deflection, we can now set these templates to send to the HR team. I use the onboarding example here because maybe in your business, the onboarding process should be assigned to the HR team, and you maybe use like a life cycle to have IT, facilities, HR that are working together to onboard an employee. And we'll walk through each one of those step by step. So to enable multi-department on the new ticket form itself, we're going to go over to Diego's side here, and we're going to log into the agent portal as an admin, and we're going to go to the templates area. Now that new ticket form is governed by this default requester create ticket template. So if I select that, you'll see here that I have that default form. And there's a whole setup section in the setup series on how to configure templates and forms. So if you want to deep dive on that, I recommend go watching that particular section. But for this purpose of this, what we're going to do here is we're going to navigate down to ticket properties, and we're going to select team. And we're going to drag team onto the form. And when we do that, that now becomes available on the form. I could relabel that to something else if I wanted to. I want to make it required. I don't need to put a data source on it, but I could if I wanted to. And I'll go ahead and save that. Now, when I save that, that save becomes immediate. And whenever the end user is now interacting with the new ticket form, they now have the option to send that to IT or HR. So what you'll see here is we have this new team dropdown, and I can send this to HR, or I can send this to IT. Now the second thing I want to do here is add some functionality on the help menu that lets me send a ticket directly to IT when I click on new IT ticket versus sending it directly to HR if I were to add a button that says new HR ticket. To do that, we'll travel back over to Diego's side, and we'll go to bot configuration to edit the help menu. So in bot configuration, there is the virtual agent help card. There's a whole section on, there's a whole setup series video on how to edit the help card. It goes pretty in depth. If you want to deep dive on that, I would recommend go watching that video. But for the purposes of this, we're going to just add these new ticket buttons that send to those respective teams. So the first thing here is I'm going to change this default new ticket button, and I want to send this to IT. Remember that right now, when I click on it, it's not going to have a configured team. So I'm going to send this to IT. I'm also going to relabel this to say new IT ticket, so it's a little more visually intuitive. And then here, I'm going to add a new button. I'm going to say new ticket. I'm going to say new HR ticket. And then I'm going to choose the HR team. Now, when I save that happens immediately. So I'll go back to the help menu. We'll see a modified help menu here. And in here, you'll see new IT ticket. When I select that, that will send the ticket to the IT team. And if I choose new HR ticket, that will send the ticket to the HR team. It's a subtle difference, but it's a much cleaner experience for your end users as they're traveling to create tickets for different teams. Now, the last example I want to highlight is when an end user is interacting with a template and a form, the ability to send that form to a different team. So right now, this onboard a new employee template/form is being sent to the default team, which is the IT team. Maybe on my business, all onboarding requests need to be sent to the HR team. So you would program the template properties to have the logic to send to the HR team. To do that, we'll go back to Diego's side. We'll go to the templates area. And like I've said previously, there's a whole deep dive on how to configure templates and forms. And if you want a deep dive on that, I would recommend go watching those videos. But what we'll do here is we'll select the onboarding request template here. And out of the box, what you'll see here is that it's not assigned to anyone. And the reason for that is because when something's not set here, we're going to choose the default. And in my environment right now, the default team is IT. So when this is submitted, it will send to IT. If I choose assignment, it will let me then choose which team, IT or HR in my example. It will default to the HR support group. I only have one group, so it's going to default to that group. If you had multiple groups within HR, you could choose the group. And then I could choose the assignees that are members of that group. That's what we set when we created the group in a previous setup session around this section. Or I can set it to unassigned. I have to set it to something, and unassigned implies that it's just going to the HR support group, but not assigned to any members of that respective team. Now, when I save that, and if I were to submit that form, that onboarding request would now go to the HR team. The underlying idea here is that as tickets are now submitted, you have the ability to give the end user the option to choose a team or provide workflow logic so that when a form is submitted, it goes directly to the appropriate team. This is where we're going to end this part of the setup session. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, please email team@cyerson.com.